The rebirth of Lamas. One group of people who give a lot of importance to the reincarnation of masters in the Tibetans. You must understand that Tibetan Lamas are basically tantrics in the upper Himalayan regions who converted to Buddhism. Theirs is a tantric culture. Nepal is a country full of tantra. It has 5 temples to do tantric rituals and processes. The Buddhist monks from India went out to Tibet like aggressive missionaries at that time and converted large populations. The underlying tantric culture remained, but they became Buddhists. They replaced their idols, but the basic tantric culture remained. So Tibetan culture became a mixture of Buddhism and the tantric way of life. Actually, the two are diametrically opposite. Tantra is full of rituals, but Gautama and rituals just cannot go together. Gautama's main work was to destroy all rituals and make life meditative. Today, Tibetan Buddhists are ritualistic Buddhists. They practice rituals that are more elaborate than Hindu rituals. Some people in that culture were definitely capable of consciously determining their reincarnation and such things, and some masters choose to come back over and over again. Apparently, in some cases, there are records where the same person came back for up to 30 lifetimes. Generally, before such a person died, he would say, "In my next life, I will be born here with this signs. You please come and recognize me." So they would go in search of him wherever in the world he may be and get the child back into the monastery. But not all masters do this. Many of them simply dissolve and disappear. But over time, this prediction of reincarnation and identifying the reincarnation all became a compulsive culture. Let us say it happened in a particular monastery that a master died, and on the 11th day after his death, he happened to communicate in some way about his reincarnation. Now, slowly, over time, they made it a tradition that whenever a master or a senior monk died, he would also reincarnate in a particular way. If nothing like that happened, you either had to admit that the master was not an evolved being, or you just had to create a miracle and carry on the legend. Usually, people chose to create a miracle, and because they could not let the reputation of the monastery run into the ground, so it became a tradition. It is unfortunate that the world is sold on these miracles. The tragedy of a living spiritual process turning into a dead tradition is not isolated to any one geography or group. This has been the unfortunate reality in too many cultures. The effort to keep it as a life process and not a lifeless tradition is the challenge that all spiritual processes need to strive for. Tibetan Buddhism has produced many wonderful masters, and the value of that is immense. Padmasambhava, who in many ways is the key to that tradition, walked around with a trident and 2 wives. People refer to him as Tibetan Shiva, definitely not a Buddhist monk of a tradition.